and welcome to the Dressing Gown Diary. This is a review show of the second round of games of the 2014 Six Nations, and I'm very privileged to have with me David Edwards. How are you, David?
Morning all, revved up, very excited about the forthcoming round of matches, Lloyd.
So first off, I'd like to have a bit of a chat about the first game. It was all lined up to be the big game of the Six Nations, and actually it was a complete mismatch. Wales were outgunned, outthought, outplayed, and what it highlighted as well is that Wales have one game plan and Gatland didn't have anything to answer. For me, it was clear after 30 minutes, the trajectory that Wales were on, they were only going to lose that game. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I was absolutely devastated by the loss, really. I thought Wales were going to shape up to have a very successful campaign this time around, and it just puts even more of an onus on the next game against France to see if we can get back on track.
I was quite surprised to see the how tired the players appeared to be as well during the game. It was a bit of a shock. I mean, Wales pride themselves in being a fit team and scoring points late on, but giving away cheap penalties, allowing Ireland to kick down 40 metres and then take line-outs, and clearly the driving maul was a very, very powerful weapon, and it'll be interesting to see how England combat that next week. So moving on, the next game up, I mean really this is turning into a second tier game, isn't it, with Scotland. England did everything that was asked of them, they won by 20 points, but for me, a team that are 58th minute and they're 20 points to the good and they've got a yellow card and they can't score any more points, does that ask big questions?
I'm still not convinced, Lloyd, that England are the real deal.
Well, I think I'm with you there, David. I think the players they've got, some of them show great quality. I'm impressed with how Danny Care's played recently, but I can't see Owen Farrell or Chris Robshaw as world-class players. I think when they're up against it against a top-quality team, Mike Brown's another good example. He's a consummate professional, but he's not world-class. Where do England go? Do they carry on this route, carry on playing this type of game, and just hope to grind teams down?
Should we start again?
Well, we're halfway through. We're carrying on now. The Dressing Gown Diary does one take and one take only for those viewers out there. I mean, I'm here with David Edwards. I was hoping he'd add something, and look what he's doing. He's causing problems. I mean, if we go back to England though, for me they look like they found the game plan that they want to play. They've been a bit more expansive in this Six Nations than they were in the autumn, and part of that I think is the speed delivery that Danny Care's brought to the game. But Owen Farrell still seems limited.
I agree, Lloyd. I'd much rather see somebody with a little bit more flair there, but it just seems to be the way that the sides are playing. It's the way Wales play. It's with big guys smashing up through the middle, and all you really need at the moment is a 10 who can do that. And you know, the selection of Burrell and Twelvetrees, both big blokes, suggests that perhaps that's the way that England are going to go to.
Now, are you concerned at the way Scotland are regressing as a team? They've still beaten Australia home and away. They've beaten South Africa, but yet when they come to Six Nations so far, they've scored 6 points and don't look like ever crossing the whitewash. Well, how do they counteract that?
I can't remember the last time that we weren't expecting a new dawn for Scottish rugby. Every single year it seems to be the same, and every year they do disappoint. I don't know. It's not good for the Six Nations if they're not competitive. I'm very disappointed with them, and like you, I think England should have stuffed them last week, but didn't.
So moving on to the last game in Paris, I mean, I think for me what this showed is the progression that Italy have now made as a team. They are not an easy team to beat. I know the scoreline in the end was 20 plus points, but actually if you look at how the game progressed, Italy were in it the whole time, and France scored on turnover tries. Now, the argument is that how major teams now score? You put pressure on the offence, aggressive in the tackle area, and you get turnovers, and that's how you score. But I mean, do you think France are the real deal? Are we seeing them progress as a team now?
It's still early days for them. New fly half looked promising. He got a bit lucky with his kick through last week and it ended up in a try. But he tried some things, and promising.
Now, we'll spend a bit of time later on in this week doing the preview show of this game's weekends. The weekend's games, of which David and I will both be in attendance in the Millennium Stadium. But I think the game of the weekend really actually is on Saturday. We've got to recognise that England against Ireland now is a massive game. Ireland will fancy their chances. Do you think England can combat what will be the driving maul? They'll play the same game, bomb balls down, driving maul off the line out. Can England counter that?
Yes, I think they can. It's just, I think they've got a very, very strong pack. I think that they will match Ireland up front, but I just don't think they've got the creativity out wide to score the tries that they're going to need to beat Ireland.
Well, I think for now that's a wrap up from us. If you've got any questions for the preview show coming later in the week, but I'd like to thank David Edwards. It's very good to see you here, and thank you for making your Dressing Gown Diary debut.
Have you got some paracetamol? My head hurts, Lloyd.
Over and out.